some presentations?
We do. Pastor Matthew Wagner is here.
Okay, we'll move the prior presentation of Pastor Matthew Wagner. We'll move you up to the list, Pastor.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, you are indeed the giver of all good things and all good things. And we thank you today for all of your blessings, for the successful outcomes of this school event and all the other events that you follow. And we thank you, Lord, for the staff members, both the teaching and the support members of this school and all the schools that these people lead and this board governs. Lord, I ask you bless them abundantly. And as I pray that they continue to seek your wisdom, your guidance, and courage, and strength, and be with them in their deliberations, and help them to be wise in the decisions that they make for the good of all those who have placed their trust and confidence in their leadership. Lord, I also pray to give them insight to lead with integrity, that their decisions may reflect what is right and what is good, and keep them from short-sightedness and pettiness, and help them to make decisions that are for the good of all, and guard us all from blind self-interest. So Lord, I pray, grant them and all of us today the humility to always seek your will in all that we do and say. All glory be to you, our loving God, now and always through Christ and the Holy Spirit forever and ever. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor. Are there any recognitions? Anybody in the board know anything that might be worth sharing? Okay. All right. This time there you are. Student representative, way down there. Anything for us tonight? No? Okay, thank you. Then with that, let's move on to the reading of the minutes and their approval thereof. We have the April 13 regular meeting minutes and the April 27 work session minutes. And I assume you've had a chance to review them. And are there any corrections or amendments or anything that needs to be revised? If not, then I entertain a motion for approval of those minutes.
Motion to approve. Second.
The motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
I got a comment.
Yes.
On the April 13th meeting, that was a meeting that Mr. Albert shared with us, and he thinks the board should consider lifting the mask requirements. Mr. Sherman, you responded that the district would have to change the health plan with PDE. Also, Mr. Schimmel said there needs to be a proposal to change the health and safety plan. And also, Mr. Schimmel stated that the board needs a special session for just the health and safety plan. Is that a true representation of what you said, Mr. Schimmel?
Where are we at there, Ron?
It's on the April 13th. 21.
Okay.
Under public comments. I can read them again to you.
Go
ahead.
Which page?
507 and also 607.
Thank you. I was looking at the 27, 5 to 13. Well, we would have to update our health plan, for sure.
Well, is that a correct, you made those statements, am I correct?
Without watching the video, I'm assuming it was recorded accurately.
Okay, and I believe they were recorded accurately. So my question is, when is that special meeting going to be called so we can review that health and safety plan?
we're not going to change the health and safety plan because we're not going to do that. So there's no need for any meeting. The special meeting was initially discussed, I forget what meeting it was, when I said we would have one to discuss demasking, and when the April 27th agenda turned out to be so light, I decided that no special session really is necessary. We could discuss demasking at that meeting, which we did pretty thoroughly. So, as far as a special session to change the health plan, I mean, there's no need to change it at this point. We're not going to demask.
Well, I believe at the last meeting, I shared with you information that came off the Pennsylvania Department of Health website, which would allow voluntary demaskings behind plexiglass shields. So I believe that we do need to take a look at our health and safety plan and change it so anybody that wants to take a mask off behind the safety, the plexiglass shield should be able to. Those that don't want to take the mask off, of course, we would not require that of them.
I believe you were reading one of the frequently asked questions pages on the PD site, correct?
That is correct. The answers came from the Pennsylvania Department of Health.
And FAQs are generally not considered to be a directive. They're informational, but they're not a mandate. So we're not mandated to follow that. We are requiring masking unless there's medical or emotional reasons for students that just can't wear a mask. And then we're going to honor that when we have, a medical or emotional, explanation for why a mask isn't workable. Then we'll work around that. But just to simply voluntarily say, I don't want to anymore, I don't see the board, because basically half the school can say that. That's where we go. So there's no need to do that. If you like the special session, if you can get two other members to join you in the call for a special session, we'll honor that.
Oh, I'm not talking about an executive session. I'm talking about a public meeting.
No, I didn't say that. I said if you can get two other members to join you in a call for a special session to discuss this further, I'll honor that and have that.
I had a comment also from in regards to the health and safety plan. My comment would have been directed more to the health and safety committee that I believe that they would need to reconvene sometime and review the plan and make changes, and then that revised plan would come before the board for approval, and we would be able to discuss at that time. I don't think it would require a special session by the board. Again, I would look at that committee and look at the current plan, update it, and then bring that back.
I think you're right, that committee can meet to do that very thing and bring it to the board. If the board chose to, supersede what that committee is tasked to do and wants to do it itself, the board could do that, but that's in a broken way, which you're right. That committee is the proper one to do that. And this question whether there's a need to do that. We're getting a little bit beyond the correcting the minutes. Let's pick this discussion up a little later because it's not like we're going to have any action in the middle of approving minutes, okay? So let's do things up a little later. Okay, we had some discussion on the minutes. I'm running with the belief that they were transcribed correctly, so if there's no corrections, all in favor of approval of the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, at this time we'll move on to section 4, the public comment by the public on agenda items, on anything related to the Montoursville area school district, any matters of concern with the school district, comment on official action in the past, pending action perhaps in this meeting. So members, if you feel free to step to the microphone and try to stay as close to it so you project as well as you can, and let us know your name and your address. And members, you have to
You hear me? Alright. You've received copies of the treasurer's report for the period ended April 30th, 2021 for general fund and cafeteria fund. There are submitted to the board for consideration and of approval.
you have a motion for the second.
Second.
Comments or discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
You have received copies of the budgetary transfers. We are submitting these for the board, to the board for the consideration of approval.
Motion and a second. Any comments or discussion or questions?
Yeah, I have a comment. A while ago, I requested that there be another line put on these budgetary transfer forms so we know who's requesting the budgetary transfer. Out of these budgetary transfers that we got tonight to vote on, there's no way that anybody here, looking at the signatures on 3 of them, know who requested those budgetary transfers. I'm guessing that these are educators that are teaching our kids that are signing these forms like this. But I would like to see and know who is making the request for these transfers. And with these signatures on at least 3 of them, I have no idea who requested. And when I brought it up before, it was agreed that we could get the names printed so we know who's requesting these transfers.
There's 3 levels on here. There's administrator approval, business office approval, and superintendent approval, and we have a signature section on some of them as well.
Correct. And our superintendent's signature, you can read. Our business manager signature is close to being able to read, but if you notice, it does say business office approval, and we know the business manager is the one that is in the business office approved, and it also says superintendent approval. So even if we couldn't read those 2 names, we know who those 2 names are. But the administrator's approval and the signatures, we don't know who's requesting them.
As far as administrator, I see the signatures they are, so for me, it's going to be more important to know what's the nature of the budgetary transfers and the value of those transfers. For myself, the fact that our business office manager, our board secretary, she's seen them, our superintendent authorizes them, and building administrator who handles their bills and budgets, they are authorizing it. If I trust their judgment and I trust the need, I'm not too much worried about the clarity of the signature. I'm more worried about the content of what's being transferred. So,
Okay, then where are we even vote on?
Hold on. I'm speaking. So I guess with that, administrators, if you want to polish up your signature skills a little bit, you know, make it a little more clear and who's signing it, that would help Mr. Snell.
I'm glad you were willing to help Mr. Snell.
You asked for it, so I did.
I just want to say that why even vote on it if it's a trust issue that you think, why even vote on it?
Because the school code requires we vote on it. So we have confidence in our administrative team and believe they have the best interest of education. And we don't have to know every door detail, but we trust what they do. We vote on approving it. We don't run the building. We don't run the district.
Oh, I'm not saying we do, but what I'm saying is we need to know who is making the request.
Well, I see the administrative names that I recognize their signatures. So, administrators, if you help a little bit there. All right. Any other comments or questions? Does that require a roll call or not?
No, I just have to have approval.
Okay. And all in favor of those budgetary transfers, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
You received copies of the list of invoices for general fund and cafeteria fund for the period ending May 11th, 2021. We are submitting these to the board for your consideration of approval and payment.
The motion. Is there a second? Is there a second? Any questions or comments? Discussion? Randy, you take a roll call.
Mr. Albert?
Yes.
Mr. Kunkel? Dr. Mathers?
Yes.
Mr. Rucker? Mr. Schimmel?
Yes.
Mr. Snell?
Yes.
Mr. Ulmer?
Yes.
Alright. Moving on, I'm just gonna go through and do a real quick, budget update. I, made this fairly similar to what you had last time. I'm going to only highlight changes in that matter of time. I did give you all a copy of this, and there were copies placed up front for anyone that needs one. Tonight you'll be approving the proposed final budget. And we'll just start with the revenues. You'll see here. I provided you with where it was at the last meeting and where we are currently. This change is a change of a negative $390. And basically, on May 1st, or right around then, we got our amount for the gambling. I can't think of it right now. Oh,
The gaming money?
the gaming money. Yeah, what is it?
The affluent fund?
Yeah, the affluent fund. And that changed just slightly, so it did change the taxes just a little bit. So you'll see there we do have a negative $390. So that's the only change there in the local revenues. State revenues here, you'll see the property tax reduction allocation is what it is, and that's where you see it increase there, $382. And the reason for the difference is just from rounding that's in the formulas. And then the other income from the state increased, and that's your teasers and your FICA reimbursement. And later on, I'll highlight two of the changes in the budget that did change that amount a little bit, and that changed it for the state revenue a total of $9,982. And our federal revenue, we did not have any increase or decrease in federal, so we are still the same there. Moving on to the expenditures. Here in our regular programs, you'll see a decrease in wages, looking at the decrease in enrollment over the last several years. And through retirements, we're able to eliminate another position currently. If enrollment does start to pick back up, we may have to add that position back in. But at this point, we felt that we could go ahead and remove that from the budget. So we did take that out there. When we took out the wages, we took out the benefits. And that shows a decrease of $94,620 here in the regular programs category. So here in the special programs, you'll see the only change was in the 300. It was a $75,893 change. This is a change in the IU contract. When I had put together the last presentation, we had this rough draft of what it was going to be. Mrs. Williamson had a chance to go through and check that and found some errors, and they were in our favor. But it's important to know that the IU contract is ever changing, because as students' needs change, that does change. But at the time, and what is being approved tonight is in here. So that was a decrease of the $75,000. Vocational education stays the same. Other instructional programs stay the same. Here you'll see pupil personnel services. This decrease, and this is also a piece of the IU contract. This decreased $1,121, and that was just a little change that was on the IU contract. Instructional staff services. This is here one of the changes from the IU contract is represented in this slide. And this is due to us determining as a district we're going to take one of the positions that was in the IU contract and make it one of our employees. So the wages and benefits came on to the district, and it came out of the IU contract. Here you do see a slight increase of $825, but these are numbers without the reimbursement. So if we look at the 200s, you'll see that that includes your fees, your FICA, your health care. You take out your health care, you're left with about $40,000. And that $40,000, you receive half of it back. So when I talked about the other revenue that we had from the state where it increased, it was because we're getting half of that back. So you see, we're actually saving money by bringing this position back into the district, even though it looks a little bit different here because this doesn't provide the revenue side of it also. So overall, this category increased $825. Does any of the board members have questions about that? Okay. It's a little bit tricky, so.
That 20,000, do you have that included in the revenue?
That's where the 9,000 is. So the reason why it's only 9,000 was because we eliminated a position. Let me go back to that slide, and then it'll make it a little bit clearer. So here on this slide, see where we eliminated this? So we lost half of that revenue, so that's why you're only seeing a revenue increase of 9,000, because we lost some of the revenue there. You got it?
So you have the 20,000 already figured in?
Yes, that is right here, the 9,600.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Okay, here you'll see a slight increase in wages and benefits. We had a position available, and we are going to go ahead and approve that position hopefully this evening. And we had budgeted a little bit differently, and we had changed that, so you'll see an increase of $2,010 here. We had no changes in the people health services, no changes in the business services, no changes in operation and maintenance, no changes in student transportation, no changes in student activities. We just got the bids, they were tallied, and I actually reviewed them today. So, you're going to see some slight changes into the final, because this is still budgeted off of stuff from last year because we were waiting on the bid. So, hopefully that will come in a little bit better as we move into the final budget. And the interfund transfer, which is our debt payment, that is still the same. And the budgetary reserve is still the same at $1 million. And here's a summary. So where we were at a deficit of $676,386. We are now down to a deficit of $497,995. Looking at where the fund balance is if that's what we end up using, our estimated fund balance of June 30th, 2022 will be $3,693,245. And I put this slide back in here from last time because I think this is something that the board found really useful. It just shows you where the increases were in the budget for the year compared to last year's budget. So overall, the budget has increased 6%, the highest being in use of other funds, which is the debt payment, and the property, which includes some of the stuff that is being considered for the whiteboards, and that makes up the majority of that. So overall, a 6% increase on the budget. And tonight we're going to adopt the proposed final budget. The 25th, we can review any changes, and on June 8th, we'll adopt the final budget. Now, any questions? All right, Mr. President.
Thank you. So we'll move on to the superintendent's report. Superintendent, you have everything for us tonight.
Yes. I do. I just wish to point two things out for the board as well as the general public, G12 and G13. G12 is a summer skills program that we will be offering for the Tier 2 and Tier 3 students. This is something that we felt as a necessity to be able to offer those students who have learning loss and who are those in the Tier 2 and Tier 3 ranges an opportunity to be coming into the schools from June the 12th through July 1st. These types of programs will help academic skills and hopefully help them move into their next grade levels with more confidence and more success as they move forward. This is a piece that we've been working on for quite some time with the administrative team that they can share with you as well in their individual buildings. It also includes P13 is the contract with Warren County School District. That is the county that provides us the service that we use to create our Warrior Online Learning Platform. We are keeping that for 1 additional year, and we have students who would like to be retained within that system. So I thought that it was a necessity to share that with the public, the community, and our board members. We also would like to have our administrative team do some recording this evening if they have things for the board. I would like this evening to be started with Dr. Breon. This is her last meeting with us. She will be greatly missed. For a short period of time that you were here, you had a great impact for us, not only on our administrative team that was in the building and with our students. I don't think we'll find your replacement to be quite as comforting as Mrs. Claus next year. So, but you have some things to work on there. So hopefully we can talk. Maybe he'll be an elf rather than Mrs. Claus. I'm not sure at this point. But would you like to start this evening with your report?
Thank you. So first of all, just a report on our school-wide positive behavior intervention and support team. We had completed our team implementation checklist, which is part of our fidelity checklist from the state level to make sure that we're doing what we need to comply with the requirements for calling ourselves a school that practices PBIS. And with that, I'm proud to say our team, after we went through the audit with representatives from Montgomery County IU, we did quite well for our first year. So we scored an 82. The minimum requirement is a 70. So definitely some work to continue, and I know I have the utmost confidence in the team that they will continue to revise and improve what we do, and making sure that children, again, understand our acronym and pride and practicing kindness, showing respect, inspiring others, doing their best, and including everyone. So that will continue as we move through the 21-22 school year. The other thing I'd like to point out is that we have, for the most part, with the exception of a few absentees that need to make up, completed the elementary PSSAs, so our state assessments are done. Woohoo! That was a huge undertaking in the building, and it took really a village to pull that off, and as seamless as we did. And I would say that from K to 4th grade, we supported each other. The students were cheering for each other. They were quiet when they needed to be, and it was just really rewarding to see how they responded as a school community to each other. So it was a proud moment for me. But I would also like to say I want to give a shout out to Mrs. Paluzzi, who is conducting book fairs right now in both buildings. They were packed so badly today that we had to call in some extra help in order to get kids through the line. So it is a buy one, get one free book fair, so kids are really excited, and as they were going home tonight, they had their goodies, and it was rewarding to see their smiles with being able to get some fun stuff to encourage reading as they go on. But I know Ms. Paluzzi and her staff have put in hours and hours of extra work to make this successful. So shout out to them. And finally, I just want to say, the last 2 years here have been my honor and my privilege, and I appreciate every opportunity. And as I said before, Montoursville will always have a special place in my heart for the time that I've been here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you.
Mr. King?
I have nothing further to add.
Okay. Mr. Ryan?
It's kind of a hard act to follow, Dr. Breon. It was wonderful working with her the last couple of years. Thank you, Dr. Breon. A couple of things I wanted to point out in the board report. We had an annual essay contest. Mr. Raver's class was the big winner. We're now called, went from McCall to McBuck. Just to give you an update on some of our winners. This essay contest was through the Days of Remembrance.org with the focus on the Holocaust. And the counties involved included like Cumming, Union, Snyder, Montour, Northumberland, and Columbia counties. We earned the top 2 prizes within the counties of this essay. Lauren Walker earned a $500 for the top prize, as well as Hannah Means, $250 award. And then we had 11 honorable mention award winners of $100 each. Congratulations to Andrew Ware, Mira DeMassimo, Andrew Zhu, Paige Boyle, Emma Sweely, Jimmy Messina, Gracie Weaver, Naomi Alexander, Sean Fry, Leah Beislein, and Walker Wood. So again, $1,850 through this essay. Mr. John Raver, congratulations to him with all his efforts. So these students are fantastic. And again, I'd like to piggyback off of Dr. Breon. All of our students and staff did a wonderful job with the PSSAs the last few weeks of grades 5 through 8. We're gearing up for the keystones and Algebra 1 here the next week. And we, as always, we appreciate everyone's support. Thank you.
Thank you.
At the high school, we just pulled off a prom with 270 students under the tents. It was good to see smiles and happy kids in this difficult year. So that was a wonderful event for us. The district-wide celebration of the arts, although canceled in March, it came back here this weekend. I've heard nothing but positive remarks about that event from the public. I think they were happy to get out and be in an event at the school. So a terrific job by music and art departments. Tennis is not, boys tennis specifically is not a sport that gets a ton of recognition around here. This year they have certainly earned it. 14-2, they won the first round of District 4 playoffs this evening. So we are excited about them moving on, and I think that's enough for them.
Thank you.
That's it from the superintendent and administration. And let's move on to the next item, will be the agenda items, and superintendent, would you care to walk us through them?
Certainly, thank you. May I please have a consent motion for G1, G2, and G3 together?
Please take them individually. I do have experience with these.
Okay. G1, approval of an agreement between the Montoursville School District and TransFinder. Motion approved. Second.
Questions, comments?
My question is, what is TransFinder?
TransFinder is part of the new bus system software that we'll be using to allow parents to see where the buses are, to allow us to see where buses are, to operate cameras and audio on the buses.
And this is a new feature.
It's an expanded feature of features that we already have. It would be the TransFinder and the Synodia together.
And that cost $8,490 for an annual payment.
That's the first.
Mr. sounds right. That's the first year, yes.
It would be helpful to me if you would show the cost of some of these agreements in the motion.
Noted.
I interpreted this as our commitment was to 1 year, and if we extend it to subsequent years, it would be a $4,950 charge, like an annual service fee. But we would have to re-up each year.
Yes, we would.
Okay.
My question is, since this is a recurring fee, was this put in the budget?
No, this is not part of the budget. This is part of the Coronavirus Relief Fund Act under the PCCD.
With it being a recurring charge, I believe the state recommends not using those funds for recurring charges.
That is correct.
Why are we doing that?
Because what the state has said in all of the ESSER funds is that you can use it for items, you can use it for recurring expenditures, we don't recommend it. However, how many items can you purchase without people to operate, without actual service contracts to use it in the future? It's like buying 17 cars and having 3 people drive them. It's impractical. So you will have some things that will have an annual cost attached to them. And to say, we have been looking into this system, and this past week, a school bus was hijacked. To me, that was one of my greatest fears. Because we can't protect kids if we don't know where they are. And this service provides that to us and to that individual child's parents.
My point wasn't to say that we shouldn't get it. My point was where the money is being gotten from to pay for it. That was my point.
No,
I assume you're reoccurring renewal next year.
yes.
So year one is reimbursement, year 2 will be part of our budget.
Yes.
Any other questions? We've motion second on G1. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
G2, approval of an agreement between the Montoursville Area School District and Synovia Solutions.
Need a motion? Move to approve. Need a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
I have similar questions with this. First of all, what is it for? I'm guessing it has to do with the buses also.
It does. There are 3 different components: the actual cameras, the software that operates for the camera and the audio, and then the actual application that the parents would use and put on their phones.
What is the cost on this? Because the paperwork I have doesn't have any cost.
It looks like Synovia is $9,240.
That's correct. Yes, $9,240. The number of vehicles is $713 per month. The number of vehicles for state payments is $19.57 a month.
The school messenger also included with this thing?
School messenger?
Yes.
No, that school messenger is in trial, and that is different.
Any other questions?
I have one question. Does number 1 and number 2 transponder and Synovia work together?
Yes.
Okay.
And they work with Angel Tracks, which is another component with the cameras.
Okay, if there's no more questions, all in favor of G2, say aye.
All right.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
G3, approval of an agreement between the Montoursville Area School District and Intrado.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Questions, comments?
Same questions.
If you go to the page that says it's not billed, go ahead, Sebastian.
I hear the page is a 3-year contract. This is a 3-year contract, correct?
So what this is we will pay X amount the first year, and I don't have the numbers right in front of me. It's a little bit higher the first year because it includes the setup fees. And then the following years, I believe it was $3,600 per year. They locked us in at that price for 3 years, but we are not obligated to stay with them. There's no cancellation fees or anything like that. They just locked us in at the price for those 3 years. And this would be a replacement for our current Blackboard system.
School messenger is part of this.
That's the first year.
That would be the first year, and then after that, it's 36.
Okay, so it's not an additional 3,600?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? All in favor of G3, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
G4, approval of the 2021-2022 school calendar for the second and final reading.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions? Discussion?
I don't have any questions per se on the calendar, but just a comment that I got from another parent asking that if we could do this a little earlier.
Can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Okay, it's not anything on the calendar, it's a comment I got from another parent asking if we could do this a little earlier in the school year for making plans for vacation next week. It's an FYI.
I think we kind of put this off as long as we could to see how the next school year might stack up and how the balance of our school year will go this year. And it was just,
Nothing's on schedule, it's still in.
yeah, and I do recall we do this around February, don't we? So, yeah, it's been a year. Okay. There's no questions, all in favor then say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
G5, consider the nomination and election of Brandy N. Smith as school board secretary effective July 1st, 2021, to fulfill the 4-year term ending on June 30th, 2025.
Questions? Or comments might be that we are fortunate to have someone so good and so competent at what she does. Thank you, Brandy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
G6, approval of an agreement between the Montoursville Area School District and Blast IU-17 for E-rate services.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Questions? Comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
G7, approval of an agreement between the Montoursville Area School District and Mid-Week Learning.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Questions? Discussion?
Now, this has an annual fee of $172,000.
Yes.
What is the, we're maxed out at 25 students can be accepted in the program from both middle and high school.
We have 25 at each school, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, if we have less students, does it affect the cost at all?
No. And generally, we do not have buses.
Yeah, that's just a clarification, that's 25 full-time. So currently at the high school, we are approaching 80 students in that we support that come in and out at different periods during the day.
Additional fees for that?
No, they're very flexible, working with us on supporting students. We also use that in place of expulsion, so we've saved placements outside placements, we've saved on those. Having it at the high school, this is expanding it then to the middle.
One outside placement is over $40,000.
There's no more questions, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
G8, approval of the election of Daniel Albert as temporary board president for the purpose of signing his daughter's high school diploma.
second? I'll second that for Dean. Any discussion? How long does it last for Dan? Till the ink dries, Dan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
G9, approval of an agreement between the Montoursville Area School District and Lycoming Career and Technology Center for the 2021-2022 budget.
Second.
Questions, comments, discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. I looked through all the paperwork here and I haven't been able to find where their fund balance is. There's a 10% tuition increase per student, but their expenses only increased by 3.5%. So I'm kind of curious why the big increase on tuition when their expenses only increased 3.5%. And like I said, I can't find where their fund balance is to know, are they building up their fund balance or?
Well, the fund balance at the CPC is limited to $50,000. They can't go over that.
Okay. But that doesn't answer the question why the 3.5%.
It is all calculated off of the number of students.
Well, actually, it's the program cost to run the facility, and then the per capita cost is based on, one of the pages shows what the per capita cost would be based on certain enrollment levels, and the per capita cost is based on the lowest projected enrollment. Well, as it turns out, the recruiting went pretty well this year, so the per capita probably won't come in that high. Again, you still have the program cost. It goes up every year somewhat, so they're between 3.5%. So this year, maybe Randy, you can help me on this. This year, I believe, if we overpay, if you will, all the districts do get a refund from the center, and this year the refund was a little out of ordinarily high. Is that for next year? I forget. One of them's going to be higher than normal.
So how it usually works is they budget it based on a few less students than what it is. So the tuition rate may look higher only because we don't know what enrollment looks like for next year. And then after they, at the end of the year, they'll go through and they'll recalculate it, and then we get our refund back. So, and I think, yes, so that's the lower enrollment for next year. So, yeah.
But after recruiting, though, it looks like that enrollment may not be as low as they feared. So that's even with the drafting and design at this point with only 5 students. And I guess while we're on the topic of the CTC was looking at having a medical assistant, professional type of program to train workers in it's the clerical, the administrative side of that industry. And when they went out and did surveys, and they looked interesting. They had lots of interest. And they're ready to unfold the program in 0 takers. So there won't be a new program starting this year in the medical industry. They're continuing to look at what kind of program could be crafted to support the medical industry.
We're being projected 39 students.
Correct.
And then the cost is about $6,000 per student. So basically, we're budgeting $240,000 for our students to attend the LCTs.
No, I think we have, without going through looking at where I think we budgeted 42 students. For some reason, it's a fairly number of 42.
I don't have that number.
neither. So I'm thinking it was 42, that we budgeted, but it's, but it also includes like the different pieces of it, for, it includes like everything that's in this plus, but then like you get some of it back depending on how many students actually go. So if only 39 go, we'll only be charged for 39. But say another school has a larger number, they'll get a bigger portion of the bill. So we'll only pay for the services that we get.
For our rate, somewhere around $240,000. Oh.
$295,396. No, I budgeted on, I believe, 42 students. Okay.
Any questions? Any thoughts? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Ayes have it.
G10, approval of a one-year extension of the agreement dated May 8, 2007 with the Borough of Montoursville to provide a school resource officer for the 2021-2022 school year. In accordance with this agreement, the district shall pay the borough a yearly sum equal to $39.57 of the borough's yearly cost of salary, benefits, vehicle, and other expenditures of the school resource officer.
Motion to approve.
Questions? Go ahead.
Would we be able to see the current contract, the only one that was here?
Dale, can you turn your mic on, or go closer?
Would we be able to see a new contract? The one that was made available to us was the 2007 draft.
That is the contract. That is the contract has been provided. It gets updated. And if you look at the letter that came with it on April the 6th, it provides the updates for the contract.
Are we now covering pension costs?
No pension contribution for the Borough Police Pension Fund is factored into this figure. Number 4.
Okay, I read that differently. It said it was not in 2007, but it could be added in subsequent years. So again, I just feel that there should be some sort of updated document that would be dated 2021, as opposed to us working on the 2007 document.
I'm sure the mayor and I can work something into a new contract, but I'm not sure that it can be right now.
So basically, to cover that, this is like a year-to-year extension on that original 2007 agreement.
I also was concerned about number 4 because, it says, should a pension payment become necessary, the district agrees to pay its prorated $39.52 share of the estimated cost of $7,235.19. So it would be nice if we knew what, if we're going to have to pay a pension share.
The updated cost we gave was $21,000 a quarter. Again, I read the contract right, includes salary, benefits, vehicle. What the vehicle cost is for coverage. not. And disagreement with use of school resource officers. I did think that there needs to be a better documentation in order for me to vote correctly.
What is the budget line item for the SRO? And do you know that? Okay, the costs here are 2007 costs, that's correct? Or did they actually take this and plug in new numbers for the year? So they keep the original date, then update the numbers actually in the extension. Okay, right. Yeah, that does look a little bit high for 2007, that's 14 years ago, so okay. When do we know when they, the pension contribution, you know, ahead going in, or how does that work?
I don't know that it is outlined other than what we have provided at this point in time for the board, along with the letter from the borough.
Okay. So the bottom line is this is not an expense that we, I don't believe it's something we want to take on and own this and totally by ourselves. So, you know, it's a service that we know is incredibly valuable. And our administrators have spoken to this numerous times, the asset it is. So, or any more questions or comments?
Yeah, Dave, and maybe this was already asked, maybe Ron Dale asked. In the event the school would be shut down again, Officer Storm's role would be, is there a provision in the contract that if he were not in school? This question was asked once before at a meeting by Ron, and I wondered if that was provided for. I didn't see anything in there about it. What would he do if none of our schools were open? Do we know that?
We do know pieces of what he does do during that time. It would be continuing to do the legal recourses for us on those who do not attend school, who have illegal absences, who he looks through all the letters for those students, and they're still in court proceedings. That part does not stop because we would be out. So we still need him to be doing those things. We still need him to be checking in on buildings. So there are things that he does do. Is it to the same level? No, he's an insurance policy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Or if there's no more questions, so all in favor of G10, there you go. All in favor of G10, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No, and I'm opposed until we get more information and an up-to-date contract.
So we have 5-2 in favor of the contract.
G11, approval of Montoursville area high school summer programs pursuant to board policy 124. The 60 programs will run from June 21st, 2021 to July the 30th, 2021, and they will consist of the enrichment courses at $200 per course for CSS and world history.
Move to approve.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Questions?
I have a question. He was going to ask me if that would be in person or virtually.
To my knowledge, they're online, am I right?
Yeah, but with things changing, I think we need to revisit.
Thank you.
I don't think we have a motion.
Okay, motion to approve.
Did you vote? Okay. Got lost or something. One motion, and we have a second by Bill. All right, okay. Any more questions on it? All right. With that, all in favor of G11, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
G12, approval of a 2020-2021 summer skills program for Tier 2, Tier 3 students in grades K through 11.
No motion.
Motion to approve.
Questions? Discussion?
Yes. This is the WOL program, correct?
No, that's G13.
I'm sorry. And I don't have a copy. But be prepared.
Any other questions or comments on G12? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
G13, approval of an agreement between the Montoursville Area School District and Warren County School District effective for the 2021-2022 school year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Questions? Discussion?
Yes. This is the WOL, correct?
It is.
My question is on, I guess it would be the second page, under C. I believe we had a discussion to, and talked about if we have a student withdrawal, that we could get reimbursed for the remaining monies. However, this contract doesn't include that.
That is correct. I asked for that to be an approved piece of this. I'm sorry. I asked that that be an approved piece, that there would be flexibility provided. And it cannot be approved. They did not approve it that way. They're not in agreement with that part of the contract. But what they did offer to us was to be able to use the other seats, if we have additional seats, on a 1 credit or 2 credit basis so that we can do credit recovery during the year. The same as we would with Lincoln Interactive through their program as well. So we will not lose things. We will be able to use this as we move forward in more of an efficient manner than what we were allowed to this year.
And the cost, $29.50 last year, for a full-time student.
What was the question?
The cost is the same as, past year.
No, there is a $200, it was $27.50, I think there's a $200 and some increase to the $29.
And we
The
purchased,
cost is $29.50 for a full-time student. The cost is $29.50 for a full-time student.
Yes.
Thank you.
and we purchased half year, is.
No, I don't have
half
all
year.
the ones on.
I don't have the price.
I'm sorry. I tried. It would have been, yes.
Well, why do they have that on the options then?
No, what they have on the options is if you wish to have a student enroll in a particular class for a half year, not as a full-time person. They did add quite a few things that if we wanted to create classes, that we could actually have our staff trained, that they would write curriculum for us to actually create the class online that we want, so that the student could follow our class as well as being online, which was new. They have not offered that in the past. That would be under the training packages for different coursework and $2,975. So what would that be? The full-time seat is the $2,950, that's the full year. The half-year full-time seat is $1,475, but they are not vending on allowing us to have a half-time. If we wanted to register students, school districts do offer half-year courses, we do not.
Oh, okay. I think I understand. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
I just have a quick one. Has the success rate of the OL changed at all?
It's been very successful at certain grade levels, and it has been less successful at others.
And I understand that, but the question I'm asking, has it changed for the better since the last report to us?
I don't have an updated number for you. We will have another number come out this Friday.
Thanks.
So many of our students opting for this, if they were sure they wanted a off-site online format, the only alternative is the other side of the program with the $14,000-15,000 cost. So this is
WAL is our program. They would be receiving our diploma. The cost is the $2,950. If a student leaves the district, they are getting a diploma from their online provider, and they are working with their online provider exclusively. They are not working with a whole school district of any kind at that point.
Any other questions? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
G14, approval to adopt the Pennsylvania School Boards Association Principles for Governance and Leadership.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Questions or discussion? I think we all saw this. I believe it was passed around.
At our last meeting.
Yeah, and after it was approved, after the meeting, if the board members would sign this as well. It's a place for all the signatures of board members. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
G15, approval of agreement between the Montoursville Area School District and Blast IU-17 for technology services.
Second.
Questions, comments?
Was there an increase on this from this year?
Yes.
Is that server hosting?
That's server hosting.
Yeah, so we were locked into a 3-year agreement, and that just became up, so we locked ourselves in for another 3-year agreement at the new cost. I believe it was went from 18 to 20.
Sorry, that's 20,000 a year then?
Yes. And they're hosting all of our servers that used to be on site in our center.
There's no other questions? All in favor of G15, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
G16, approval of an agreement between the Montoursville Area School District and Blast IU-17 for shared special education services for the 2021-2022 school year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Questions or discussion?
Again, I want the cost noted at $1.167533 million.
That's correct.
Any other comments, questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Under P1, approval of the following additions to the support staff: Joey Lohmiller and Misty Emmett, as noted.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
E2, approval of the following additions to the professional staff. We welcome Peyton Robbins as our new school nurse, Michaela Mathis as our special education teacher, Tiffany Steffi, an English teacher, both in the middle school, and Holly Fuller, the art teacher at the high school.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
E3, approval of an addition to the teacher substitute list for 2020-21 school year, Mr. Kyle Essick in English.
Do a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
E4, approval of the following change in dates for a leave of absence from a member of the professional staff, as noted.
Motion to approve.
Questions, comments? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
E5, approval of the following addition to the administrative staff, Mr. Jamie Yonkin, and Mr. Yonkin is with us this evening. If there's anything you would like to say after they go, that would be good.
Move to approve.
Second.
Questions? Questions from Mr. York? No. Comments, okay? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Not real good with microphones, so I'll just go without that. So, to say that I'm excited to be standing here tonight is probably the understatement of the night. Since I went back to school probably about 8 years ago, this is where I wanted to be. This is where I wanted to be back home, where I grew up, where I went to school, where my kids are at. I'm glad I'm not going to have to deal with my kids if they're here and at the high school. But it's very humbling to stand before all of you tonight, to get that yes vote. My granddad sat where you guys sit back in the 60s. Unfortunately, he's not with us right now. I'm sure he's pretty excited to know that I'm back in the district. And I'm here and I'm ready to help our kids and do what's best for our kids, number one. So that'll be my number one focus as soon as I step out. And I got some big shoes to fill, but I'm looking forward to working with this team. I'm looking forward to working back in this community, back where I was born and raised. So I'm excited about it. So thank you very much. And I promise I'll give you everything I got every day I come in. And some days it may not be as good as others, but you're going to get my best every day I come in. So thank you guys very much.
Did we
tell you that there's a dog that we need to have go around with you?
I'm in.
We do welcome you. Welcome aboard. P6, approval of the following resignation from a member of the professional staff, Mrs. Jacqueline Gilbert, in our music department.
Move to approve.
Second.
Well, that's a all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And that's when you love to oppose, we can.
We would like to oppose, yes, very much. P7, approval of the following changes to the coaching staff of the 2020-2021 school year. Rick Robertson, and you can see the positions there.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? Ayes have it.
T1, approval for Promised Land busing rates in the amount of $2,704.07 and $2,474.34 for April 2021.
Move to approve. Questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
A1, approval for graduation of those members of the senior class of 2021 who will have met all state and district requirements as of June the 1st, 2021, with 146 potential graduates as of May the 11th, 2021.
Bill motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
PY1, approval of the second and final reading of the following policies. Policy 126, class size. Policy 237, electronic devices. Policy 703, sanitary management. Policy 709, building access. Policy 803, school calendar. These policies were on the August 2020 board agenda for first reading, and we completely missed getting them on for the second reading. I think that we thought that they were done and they were not when we looked at them.
Bill motion.
Motion to approve.
We have a second.
Second.
Any questions?
Yes. It's more of a comment. Under authority, the
Which one?
sentence, the board prohibits
Which
use
policy,
of.
Ron? Which policy? I'm sorry.
Huh?
Which policy out of those?
Oh, I'm sorry, 237.
Thank you.
Under authority, the sentence, the board prohibits use of toys, CD players, Walkmans, radios, laser pens, cell phones, beepers, or other electronic devices during school hours. I disagree with deleting that whole sentence. I don't think toys, CD players, Walkmans, radios, laser pens, and beepers has anything to do with education. I think those 6 items need to be left in that policy. I think the only thing that should be deleted or left in is the cell phones. But the other things I think should be left in. The cell phones, that can be taken out. But those other items have nothing to do with education.
I don't know if there's any STEM classes that use electronic, other different electronic devices in the classroom or not. You have to ask the teachers for their input on that.
I actually couldn't hear what you were saying.
I'm sorry, but can you hear me now? Okay. I don't know if there is any type of electronic device that teachers would use in a classroom such as in STEM, like maybe with robotics, or I'm not sure if there would be devices that would be useful for them to bring in. And that would be a question for the educational staff. I agree, I don't even know if anybody uses speakers anymore. That's kind of,
That's why they were taken out. No one uses a Walkman, a radio is already on your phone, your Walkman's already on your phone, your beeper's already on your phone. The CD players are quickly leaving the scene as well.
it's all on the phone.
I saw the one with the laser camera. Yeah, that caused me a little concern. That I read on page 2 that says the superintendent shall develop administrative regulations, and the district reserves the right to define educational value, etc. I mean, we have it broad enough, but essentially, from an administrative standpoint, for the administrative team to tell us that that is not acceptable. We give them latitude to make judgment calls. And certainly, a laser pen would be one of those things that would be going in a hurry if a student tried to use one inappropriately in the wrong setting. So I understand what you're saying, Ron, but I'm okay with the authority that this policy gives the administration, to do case by case, those kind of things.
There is no reason to have toys, CD players, Walkmans, radios, laser pens, and beepers on school property during school hours. Why create an argument when the superintendent or designee has to make a decision on a case-by-case basis when if it's in the policy, they wouldn't have to do the case-by-case. I can't see any reason why anybody would need to bring toys, CD players, Walkman radios, laser pens, and beepers to school for education.
I think if you asked any child what a beeper was, what a Walkman was, and a radio, they may look at you and go, what is that?
Hey, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
So we took them out because they're no longer relevant. The purpose of taking them out because they're no longer relevant. It wasn't to disturb anyone from having those items. They're just not relevant anymore. Students walk around with their cell phones. They don't walk around with these other pieces unless they're studying the 80s somehow. They're bringing something in.
well, laser pens, radios, and toys are relevant.
But I don't know that we need to name specific things. Somewhere in the future, you're going to be probably looking at something that we haven't thought of that's not named in a policy. But we would want to maybe restrict it in some form or fashion. So I believe, if I'm recalling correctly, these were taken out because it was a broader latitude when you said personal electronic devices and you used it in a broad sense, not in just a laser pen or a specific item. And toys, forgive me, but maybe at the elementary level there is a reason to bring a toy at some point to do show and tell. I'm not sure.
I'm aware of a student with IEP who actually, in another district, who actually would take this is a high school student who would take I think the kind of toy it was called. It says, anyway, he actually would take that toy to school every day. It was in his IEP, and it would be, a violation of our policy for our school district. So that's why I'm fine with letting our administration make these judgment calls. And, I have confidence they know what they're doing. That's why I'm not too worried about those strikeouts, especially because those don't exist anymore.
The IEP would override policy.
Or unless there's a consensus to leave that language in, more discussion on it, I think either go that way or move on to the next policy we want to discuss again. There's no sentiment about revising that strikeout. Mr. Dozier, well taken, understood.
I have a question about policy 803. I guess I'm not reading that addition. It's that in the second paragraph, it talks about the school calendar shall normally consist of a minimum of 990 hours at secondary level and 900 hours at the elementary level, period. I got that. But the next sentence then says, and normally consists of equivalent of 180 school days. Is that, I don't know what word and starts with, that sentence. Is that just talking about the school calendar should normally consist of an equivalent of 180 school days?
I believe probably when this was put into place and that word was used that we are continuing to use, it means that we are following the state guidelines, not guidelines, excuse me, that's a terrible word at this point. We are following the mandates that say 990 hours of instruction, 900 hours at the elementary level, and oh, by the way, it's normally in the equivalent of 180 days.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I just wasn't, I didn't know if something was missing there or what. Yeah. And 180 days, including the Act 90, the flexible instruction, and the learning. Okay.
Correct. And we generally do use Act 80 days each year. There is a limit on those as well that we can put into the calendar, especially when we have flooding. You know, we use them for flooding. We use them for a few different circumstances.
And how many are you allowed to use a year?
I don't remember if it's 2 or is it 4? I know we had issues in the past. We asked for more than 2 and we were granted 4. Okay.
How many instruction hours in a school day?
That depends on the level of education because you cannot include recess. So you cannot include lunch. And that's why the hours are different for elementary as well as secondary. So we would have to be looking on a building by building basis for that. But we do have that because we do have to calculate that every year.
Any other questions on the policy? Okay, not at all. Call for a vote. All in favor of PY1 adopting the second reading of all of those policies as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
I should have asked maybe just a minute ago if we should have separated those one by one, but we understand one concern, so that's okay.
BF1, approval of the proposed final general fund budget in the amount of $32,581,013 for fiscal year 2021-2022, including salary and work schedules as proposed.
Move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or discussion? I guess we can make note that that is also with no tax increase for this year.
Correct.
If there's no questions, we're all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. That concludes your agenda, Mr. Superintendent. Thank you for walking us through that lengthy list. We'll move now to committee reports, but actually before we do, I don't think we'll be done in 7 minutes. So at this point, I'll entertain a motion to extend the meeting an additional 30 minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right. Extend an additional 30 minutes past 9 o'clock. I think we begin at 7:02 or 3, so we'll go to 9:33, let's call it. So with that, let's move to the committee reports. And as Vice President, we'll walk us through the reports.
Okay, number 1, CSBA, I do not have any report. Number 2, Policy Committee, Dr. Beard is not here tonight. Number 3, IU Representative, Mr. Ruffin.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. Once again this year, the IU teamed up with the charity Knows Variety to provide 13 adaptive strollers and 5 adaptive bicycles for students with special needs. It's a wonderful program. Obviously, it's no cost to the recipient, funded by generous individuals out there that support this charity. So once again, this brought us a lot of smiles to young children who otherwise would not be able to ride a bicycle or be able to adapt to a standard stroller. It's a wonderful thing. I could not be there for the presentation, but it's a great thing for the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Schimmel, LCCC.
Yes, moving next Thursday, I mentioned earlier about they will hope to be a medical program of some type that didn't pan out.
Hopefully it will. Memorial Gardens, Mr. Conkle.
So, last weekend we had Key Club folks, Kiwanis folks, board members, parents, to fix up the gardens. During that week, Eddingers was there to do, and I want to publicly thank Eddingers. They always come in, they do bill us, but they come in and they do a lot of work. They started basically looking at the trees we ended up ripping out. If you go by Memorial Gardens, there used to be shrubs in the front and shrubs in the back. They're gone. In fact, they got disease. They took half of them. We as a group took the rest of them. So if you go by Memorial Gardens, you can actually look through. I think it honestly looks pretty nice. Mr. Donato and his crew are going to pull the stumps there. We're going to grass and seed that for now. And we are speaking with Eddingers to do some work in Memorial Gardens because the bricks are, if you walk it, it's a tripping hazard. We need to look to the future to do something, put some money in the account. But I want to thank the Key Club kids. They were awesome. They didn't come prepared to cut shrubs and pull shrubs, and the adults cut them just everywhere. The other kids stacked them, and Eddingers hauled everything away that day. So we were really pleased with. We did 2 separate groups. Mrs. Tira and Mr. Mazzani did 2 different groups. We had probably 20 kids in each group. Because of COVID, we did it 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Went very well. I stopped by around noon, and Eddingers was there, kind of sprucing things up, finishing up. And honestly, without Eddingers, we could probably they supply the wheelbarrows, the rakes, the shovels. Kids bring their own, but we have so many kids, honestly, that we need more stuff. So, but there'll be some changes there. We'll be bringing a committee, committee is myself as the chair of the board, a borough representative, and Bob Weaver, the parent representative. The 3 of us are kind of the committee, and so we'll be bringing something to the board to probably do some type of fundraising or something to increase the balances in our account. So I just need to publicly thank again the Key Club kids. They're awesome. They came and mask and all, and they did the prom, and they went to town for the morning. So I do really thank them for putting a lot of work into it. The adults, Dale and I stood there and talked. So I know Dale can be back on. Dale's been there for many years. So, but it's a good time to talk to kids. Most of the kids born today have no idea what happened there. So Mr. Mazzani, we gather around the monument, gives a little explanation of what happened in the history and things like that. So it really is, Dale can add, but it really is a great event, and the adult leaders do a great job of getting everything ready.
And I would like to add, thank you, Council on behalf of the board for your time and effort to coordinate and make sure that these work days, I would have to take a walk around here. And I'll certainly double thank you to the people in the building department, Mr. Kira, Mr. Clifton there, and Mr. Mazzani. mentioned Bob Weaver. Bob has been there, from the start, as far as the professional president, wonderful person, and really, very thankful for his devotion to the subject.
That's all I have. Thank you.
It's hard to believe it's been 25 years. Thank you. Mr. Allard, do you have anything further on the budget?
Okay, thank you, Randy.
Buildings and grounds, Mr. Albert?
Yeah, I had a bus driver approach me and tell me about the, out of the valley, people are really speeding through there. And he was wondering if there's anything that we could do about the signs out there, get them more like a bundle of socks. You know, there's a lot more lights going on. You know, there's bigger lights or more of a warning, you know, to come in there. You know, we have it just a small. But he said it, you know, I ran into him at Ellery now one day. He asked if I would bring it up to see if there was anything that might be able to be done to get the people to get their attention a little more. But other than that,
I do know the state police has been sitting out there a little bit lately.
I think they're very effective.
They are for me.
Okay, Montoursville Foundation and Mr. Allman.
Nothing to report to you.
And Mr. Humble, anything on extracurricular? Okay, that's it, Mr. President.
Thank you. We'll move now to the second public comment period. Public's welcome to come forward and bring up the topic again. A new topic. Three minutes unpause to discuss Montoursville area school district related issues. Listen your name and your address. Now, please leave the podium.
I have a question. Mr. Schimmel, I'd like to know why you and the committee, you brought up the Department of Health. Why do you ignore what is on the Department of Health website that can be an alternative when those kids are sitting at their desks? I'd like to know why that's being ignored.
If you feel that there is strong sentiment to change the policy, why don't you make a motion right now?
I'd like to make I'll make a motion to look at the health and safety plan and amend it to allow kids to have their masks off if they choose behind the safety shields that the taxpayers pay for every desk in our district.
I'll second that motion.
Questions or discussion?
Fair enough.
I don't think we can do that. I don't think we can entertain a motion that brought in from the public, and that's against our policy at the same meeting. I would need time again. I think that Mr. Snell, I did look at that. I can't recall it 100%. I would like to research. I do think that you are misreading what you're reading on the website. You're pulling out pieces. I have to look at the entire policy, and I need time before voting on it.
So, Donnie, your sense is that
That's against policy to make a motion based on public comment at the same meeting. That was our last policy that we approved, the revised one on public comment.
I will read it directly off the Department of Health website.
Well, hold on here. We have an objection by a member who believes that the motion itself actually is out of bounds. It may not be a valid motion based on its origins. And offhand,
Can we just go our solicitor on that?
The only thing we need to do to be legal when there is a vote is allow the public to comment on that motion that was made before the vote is taken.
If you look at the policy that we adopted at our last meeting, you may not make a motion based on public comment. Public can bring something to us, and then we make a motion and are expected to vote on it right then and there. We need time to do our research.
It's been like 3 meetings we've been asking.
So, Mr. Solicitor, we're having a board discussion here, so it's not, you can come, your public comment time is over here.
I know, but the truth is, we've been talking.
You'll have to leave the building, you'll have to leave the room if you don't leave.
We're tired of masks. We're tired of it.
We're tired of that too.
Then don't do it. Why are you doing it? Why are you trying to grandson or something that you don't believe in?
They've been.
Why?
Okay, this meeting is suspended until the public will.
1,000 people here.
This meeting is suspended, 4 members going to meet out in the hallway.
Mr. President, isn't this the public comment time?
This meeting is suspended for a moment.